Good morning, all. Here I am once again in beautiful Roselle. Today we are going to do another bit of trekking. You can see our cottage behind at 1310 meters. In feet, that's approximately 4300. So we are going to be doing a trail which I have named as Binnoya Circular Trail. That's approximately 3.6 kilometers in length. We'll be having an elevation difference of roughly 80 meters. So let's have a walk and see what's there to see. It's unfortunately a very gloomy day. I don't know if the sun will appear. One way to find out. You can see this beautiful Binnoya division belonging to Carolina Tea Estate. What you are seeing is a small hill. Some time ago I did a hike surrounding this hill that is called Roselle Circular Trail. That should be available if you would like to check it out. There are so many water streams starting from this small hill, so that's sort of like a water source for the Binnoya estate, rather Binnoya division. You can probably also hear there are some barking deers hanging around here. Usually you can spot them, but today being a very gloomy and cloudy day, I don't know if they will be out. This is the path that we have to go. You can see there is a small patch of pinus forest. There are some tea bushes and the estate road to the right that we have to follow. Let's continue our journey there. Alright, we can see some rather footprints of a water hen, if I'm not mistaken. In Sinhala, I think we call the fellow as Koravakka. Let me give you a close-up. There we go. Looks very beautiful. Alright, you can see some more beautiful views. Typically it looks very grand when the sun is up and about. Today he is not up yet. We saw a couple of barking deers in the distance. Unfortunately GoPro can't capture them. There is no zoom in function as such. Alright, now the first landmark where we start the Binnoya Circular Trail is ahead of us. You can see my trekking partner Anna is going ahead, and this estate road is overgrown with plenty of grass. We saw another barking deer very close to us. The fellow was sort of like hiding. Unfortunately we were not fast enough to capture it as usual. And in the distance now, where you can probably see Anna, that's where the road branches into two, to left and right. So we are going to start our circular trail to the left and then go around that small hill you can see in the distance and then come back to the same point. Now from our cottage to this junction is roughly 700 meters. The height of that place is 1280 meters, and we'll be trekking a total distance of 3.6 kilometers if the distances and the elevation measured from Google Earth are accurate. Okay, let me show you something else now. Now this is a very beautiful location, very picturesque. I've always loved taking pictures of that place. This is a sort of like a small lake. There are a couple of pinus forest patches scattered about and the tea estate sloping towards it. Unfortunately there's a small surface area of water you can see these days. The rest of it pretty much covered in grass. I don't know if this was a beautifully maintained during the colonial era. Now it's pretty much abandoned, just like most of our tea estates. Very unfortunate. Okay, here we are at this junction, the first one. I usually call it the upper junction, 1280 meters. Now from here I'm going to take to the left, and then we'll complete our circular trail, joining at the same place, coming from the right. Okay, I wonder if you can hear, there are some birds chirping in the morning. You can probably hear, they sound as if like chooty cuckoo, just like that. Very beautiful and pleasing to the eye. Now this bit is actually I'm walking with a bit of care because the path is somewhat slippery. I don't want to fall down with the camera. Okay, now this patch of the road looks in better condition compared to how I saw it a couple of months ago. Probably the state workers have done some repair work here. You can see the small hill that we'll be circling around during the Binnoya circular trail. Remember, Binnoya is part of the Carolina Tea Estate called as Binnoya Division. Okay, let me show you. Now this is the lake I was telling you about. You can see the water surface area, very tiny, negligible, but this is like a water catchment area. All the streams springing from the hills around Binnoya Division coming and collecting here. Then these streams flowing across the railway line to join with Hatton Oya, which ultimately flows into Mahavali River. I'll show you that location during my hike. Alright, this is the closest view I can get of this small lake. But if you look at it closely, this must have been a very big lake, especially in the past. Now it's pretty much like covered in grass and there is nothing much to see. There's this finest forest patch. And some abandoned tea bushes as usual. Okay, let's continue now. Leaving the lake behind, she was the star of the show. As I was telling you, the water streams starting or originating in and around Roselle. You remember a couple of years ago, I climbed Roselle Mountain. That is passing Binnoya and Bigton tea estates. Most of the water streams start from there. That mountain range borders Roselle and Dimbula. That is when you are going from Navalapitiya to Talawakere across Dimbula. That's also known as Dimbula Patana. So that's the mountain range. In Sinhala it's known as Rilagala Kale. I don't know what's the significance. However, you can see once again Anna is trekking ahead of me. So these streams, they originate from this Rosella mountain range and the surrounding hills. They flow and join Mahavali River. Ultimately, some of these streams, especially the ones who are flowing to the left of me, and they cross the upcountry railway line. If you remember, I did a trail some time ago all the way to Roselle Double Bridge. They flow underneath that and join Hatton Oya. Hatton Oya flows past Ginigathena and merge with a couple of other streams such as Inguru Oya, also known as Hangarang Oya. The Inguru Oya railway station is also nearby. And then she once again merges with the Kadiyanlena Oya. The Kadiyanlena Oya is a very famous and a popular one, because when you travel from Nawalapitiya to Talawakele along the Dimbulapatana area, the Kadiyanlena Alla, also known as Katabula Alla, can be seen. So this Hatton Oya merges with that Kadiyanlena Oya, and at Mahawillava join with Kotmale River or Kotmale Oya to create the largest river in Sri Lanka, called as Maha Valley River. She ultimately flows to Koddiyar Bay in 3 places in Trincomalee. Genge and Upparua, 2 such river mouths. I got lucky to capture one of them during my Trincomalee tour couple of years ago. Now this is a better view of this lake that I told you about. You can see it's pretty much abandoned now, no maintenance, but there are plenty of birds in the surrounding area looking for food. You can probably hear the water streams. Right, let's keep the lake to my left and continue our hike. This is a beautiful stretch of the Binway Circular Trail, and my trekking partner Anna is going ahead. There is like a small anicut here, which probably was built during the colonial era. Let me show you that if possible. I wonder if you can see that in the bottom of the frame. You can probably hear the water sound as well. This is a good sign that this lake was well maintained in the past. I wonder if there was some fishing going on in this lake. Typically these upcountry areas, it's very hard to get some fresh sea fish. Of course these days it should not be a big deal, because the road network is pretty good compared to colonial era. But for these people to get some proteins, I wonder if there was some trout fishing happening in these lakes. But mind you, the rainbow trout that you can normally find in the upcountry lakes, especially in Horton Plains, they are an invasive species, which is not really good for our conditions, because they are eating all our endemic small fish, shellfishers and all that. So the trout fishing is not something we should encourage. Right, okay, now we are getting close to another very important landmark. That is where we can see the upcountry railway line approximately 200 feet below. Okay, I will show you that in a... Okay people, we were not lucky to get a leopard's paw print yet, but this is a fishing cat print. Looks beautiful. Can be seen clearly. Here's another print which is not very clear. Okay, you can see my trekking partner is looking for the pug marks. I think that's the proper word for these prints. We were lucky to see a couple of them. 2 of them were fairly in good condition, but the rains have somewhat ruined those prints. Okay, let's go to the point where we can see the upcountry railway line. Alright people, this is the 3rd pug mark. You know, it sounds very weird. I'm usually used to calling them footprints or paw prints, but this is also in very good condition. Right, now we can see the Colombo Hatton main road and the villages in the distance. Sripada mountain is also to that side, but you can see it's very dark, cloudy, and that area is pretty much covered. You can barely make out the Colombo Hatton main road. My trekking partner is now behind me, still looking for the pug marks. Unfortunately, we were not able to find anything afterwards. Alright, we have now arrived at the most important landmark in this trek. This is where we can see the upcountry railway line down below. On a good day, we can see Sripada straight ahead between these trees. Unfortunately, today the weather is not very good. Let's go and have a look at the upcountry railway line, people. The Rosella double bridge should be down there. Okay, people, this is my favorite location along this Binnoya circular trail. Down below we can make out the beautiful upcountry railway line, almost like a horseshoe shape, with the two bridges which I call Rosella double bridge. They are at 1180 meters and I am standing at 1245 meters. So the difference is roughly 65 meters, around 200 feet. I really wish there was a train. I've been keeping an eye on this location for some time now, but none of the times I was able to capture the train going down below. That would make a beautiful view. Anyway, it's good that I can't make it out today because I don't have a camera that I can zoom in towards the double bridge, which is a great pity. The two bridges, underneath them flow the water streams that I was telling you about, which flow and join with Hatton. Right, this is a clear view towards Colombo Hatton main road. Unfortunately, you can't see anything beyond the first line of the hills in the distance. Typically, we can see beautiful Sripada in the distance when the weather is good. Okay, people, this is the road that we have to trek. I just wanted to show you some nice tea fields. Nice in the sense, in comparison, of course. I guess, because I'm no planter, I believe these are some VP tea fields. Those who are in the planting industry should know them better. I just wanted to show you these are in better condition compared to what we have seen up to now. You can make out these side walls built with rocks, put them up on top of each other. Very beautifully done. And there is another important thing I wanted to show you. That is the root system of the tea plants. You can see this one in particular that goes so deep. Let me go closer and give you a close-up. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you up close. You can see this root of this tea bush going so deep into the soil. There's another one to the left, close to those rocks. It's amazing how deep these roots go. No wonder these tea plants are very strong with this kind of root system. Amazing find. I hope you learned something. Okay, let's take a nice walk because these tea fields are really good. I like to walk looking at them. This greenery is very soothing to the eye and mind, and we get to have this fresh mountain air. And the root system I just showed you, I think that's one of the reason why tea is a very successful plant in the upcountry, especially in these areas where the soil is not in very good condition. Especially with the fertilizer crisis going on these days, I think this kind of root system going deep into the soil is one of the reasons why they are a success story. But as usual, they need to be maintained properly, cared for. I wonder if that part is happening. unfortunately our tea industry is not doing really well, especially since 1970s. That's a very tragic story. I was telling you about this when I was doing Lul Kandura. Remember the first tea field in Sri Lanka, which was started by James Taylor in 1865, if my memory serves right. Since then, we continued to prosper as a tea producing nation, but since 1970s, it's been sort of like turned upside down, where our competition is growing rapidly, and we are not doing very well. Very sad indeed. Alright, I just want to show you the path. I continue to call it a path, but that's what I'm used to. But this is actually a state road. So mind you, when I say a path, I'm in fact referring to a state road. And this is the path that we came downhill from where we saw the upcountry railway line, which is running to my right now. Okay, there are a couple of crows as well. And to the left is this beautiful Binnoya division of Carolina Estate. To the right is some water streams and the upcountry railway line. Okay, now we are going ahead with our trek. We can hear a couple of crows. I wonder if they have arrived from Colombo, because normally Colombo is famous for Colombo crows, Colombo kakas. And this path, there is a massive sort of like a ravine to the left. I can see there are a couple of places where the road had experienced some landslides due to, once again, lack of maintenance. That sound, if you can hear, is coming from the Valioya tea factory and Shannon factory, if I'm not mistaken. That's the morning bell where I think people are summoned to work. Okay, I just wanted to show you something else, because I actually backtracked a little bit because my trekking partner showed me something very interesting. You can see a massive eucalyptus tree to the left, and there are so many of them in the vicinity. This is, if I'm not mistaken, is a fuel coop which was used to supply firewood for the dryers of the tea factories. I think it goes to show there was this completely self-sufficient system prevalent within these tea industries, where they had their own firewood supply, because in fact they would have needed a lot of firewood for the drying process of the tea leaves. Instead of relying on external sources which are highly unreliable even at present times, they had their own firewood supply system. So within the tea estate, the sections were separated for these fire coops. I wonder if I pronounced that word correctly. They also had these small lakes as water collection catchment areas, and small forest patches segregated as water purifying divisions, and also to collect some drinking water for the estate workers, and separate farms where they were supplied with milk and meat. It's like a small society which is fully self-sufficient. Now look at this small stream. These are originating from these tea estates, especially the small hills I was telling you about, and they go and merge with rivers, making Sri Lanka a beautiful nation. Another beautiful stretch of this Binnoy Circular Trail. I really love this part. Unfortunately, there are lots of bleachers though. Couple of them has already bitten me, but I would like to show you this all the same because it's such a wonderful scenery. You can see there are eucalyptus trees to the left, sort of like a tree line, beautifully maintained. And then to the right is the tea estate. Down below to our left is the upcountry railway line. Further down below is Hatton Oya, which flows to join with Mahaweli River. And beyond that is the Colombo Hatton main road. Talking about the Hatton Oya, she flows down, creating a nice waterfall which has fallen prey once again to the mini hydro power plants. That waterfall is close to Wattawala area known as Diyagalla Alla. That area is also known as Diyagala. That's where the road to Norton Bridge starts from. So Hatton Oya flows further down and passing Ginigathena. The Ginigathena is a very significant point. It is believed, I think among the folklores, the rain falling onto the Ginigathena police station merges with two rivers. To the left is, especially when I'm looking from Hatton end, the water falls to the left slope, goes to merge with the Kehelgamu Oya. Kehelgamu Oya originates from Horton Plains and is a main tributary of Kalani River. And the water falling onto the right slope of the Ginigathena police station goes to join with Hatton Oya, ultimately Mahaweli River. So the Hatton police station is a very significant structure. And if you have watched Ganga Dige program by Jackson Anthony, he actually showed it very nicely in one of the episodes when he was following Mahaweli River from Horton Plains. There's a very busy household. Look, they have built it nicely. It's like a, I don't know, like a nose or face. Couple of openings, in fact 3. And the occupants are very busy collecting food and going to store them for the rainy days. I really wish I could send a camera down the this hole into their household to see what's actually happening. That should be very interesting. Okay, we are now coming to another important landmark. Actually 2 landmarks. From here to the left you can probably see sort of like an opening. That's where a small path is made where people can come in and work in these tea fields from their homes down below. That also goes all the way to the railway line, which I have done couple of times. I actually want to do another hike walking along the tea estate and going that far to show you it better, but let me give you a glimpse of it right now. There you go. There are line houses down below, so those workers can easily come up the hill to work in the Binnoya division. Normally they are known to use plenty of shortcuts without trekking on these estate roads, which are longer and winding. Now this is the second important landmark. This is where all the tea leaves plucked by the tea pluckers are being brought in, collected and weighed against each individual. As we speak, there is a bit of rain also. I wonder whether we'll have to take shelter here or continue with the our umbrellas. This place, it also has a small toilet, I think for the workers to use, which is a very good thing. and this is still in use because the tea leaves being plucked in the vineyard division are brought in here. Okay, I'm going to take a small break. We are continuing our Binnoy circular trail. There were at least a couple of dozen leeches climbing up along my shoes and legs. Some of them have already drawn blood, so this is not going to be a very leisure walk after all, because we need to keep an eye on these leeches as well, which are very good at drawing blood, piercing the veins rather well. Okay, you can now see once again the tea estate very well along the way, and to my left is the tree line continues to be with us, but the road is not in very good condition. It's muddy, full of leaves, making it an ideal breeding ground for the leeches who are continues to trouble us. Unfortunately, I want to show you as much of this as possible. You can now see this small stream. I think estate workers have used a PVC pipe to collect water easily, and the stream then goes underneath the road, and it appears like this from the other side of the road. Just want to show you this rocky wall. I think this is what keeping the soil intact, not allowing any landslides. Very ingeniously built. Unfortunately, this kind of construction is not happening these days. We are just continuing to maintain whatever was built in the past. Now look at this, people. We can see a good portion of the tea estate from here, which looks very beautiful and healthy, and the road below and the side wall and the tree line and everything in one picture. It's a picture perfect location. I'm going to take a picture. Looks so beautiful. We can hear the road noise from the Colombo Hatton main road. There are plenty of lorries and buses traveling. Unfortunately, there are no trains, despite the rail services or the train services have been partially resumed. I haven't heard any this morning, but yesterday we heard a couple of trains. Now we are actually very close to one of another very important landmarks, that is the lower junction, which I refer as. This is where this circular trail merges with the other road, and that will make like a half circle. From then onwards we have to climb uphill to merge with the upper junction, which I showed you at the beginning of the journey. Alright, I actually wanted to show you this small plants like a grass. I don't know, it looks also like an ornamental plant. The purpose of this was to mitigate the soil erosion. You can see how ingenious our ancestors, should we call them, been, because they have thought about every process and used every available resource to mitigate these natural issues. And I don't know the name of this plant, unfortunately. If you know, please put a comment. And this is another line of defense against the soil erosion. You can see there are some stone built areas and then these small plants. Now I want to show you these drains built along the estates. I think they are doing a very good service to make sure the water streams are flowing along them, not ruining the soil or the estate. Okay people, here we are at the lower junction. I think we are done more than 50% of our hike now. From here you can see there is another road coming uphill. That's the one leading to the railway station down below and beyond to the Colombo Hatton main road. If we were to turn left, we would be able to go to the station, and if we are turning to the right, we are going to merge with the upper junction, which is exactly what we are going. Normally this is one grand viewpoint. Unfortunately today, due to the mist and the rain, we can't see much. But in the distance, if you can make out the tea factory, that's the Valioya tea factory. I have mistook it as Shannon factory in the past, but now I know for sure it's the Valioya factory. And down below there's the Colombo Hatton main road, and then the upcountry railway line. Further to the right of the frame, you can also make out the Binnoya estate bungalow. I wish we could visit it and do another video, because I just love these estate bungalows and their architecture. Amazing sight. Tea estate sloping towards the railway station. Unfortunately not in very good condition. Looks rather abandoned. Okay people, now this is the junction. I'm like standing on one end. To the right is the estate road where we trekked along, and we are now continuing to the left. You can see the small signage. Let me go close and give you another view. There you go, Carolina Estate Binnoya division. But you can see how crooked the font is. Another sign that our tea industry is not doing very well. We can't even get a proper signage put up. That division S and I close to each other, whereas the spacing between the other fonts are very prominent. I don't think our colonial era planters would have approved this at all. Okay, this is another view of this junction. We are standing at 1230 meters, 80 meters lower than where we started at our cottage. To the left is that horrible signage, and the road we came downhill. To the right or straight ahead is the road continuing towards the railway station and Colombo Hatton Road. In the far distance is Valioya factory. Typically on a good day we can see the Sacred Mountain Sripada and Seven Virgin Mountain range in the distance. Unfortunately today there's plenty of mist. We can't see anything beyond the Valioya factory. Okay people, let's continue our journey then. Right, we are continuing our journey. You can probably hear the stream to the left of me. Another stream that goes on to merge with Hatton Oya. In the distance we can hear the siren coming from either Valioya factory or Shannon factory, probably summoning the people to work. The condition of the road is not very good here. Unfortunately I need to walk very carefully. One thing, not to slip and fall, and the other thing is not to wobble the footage. Right, my trekking partner has gone so far away. Okay, let's go and I'll show you some more interesting things. You can see there is another stone built drain carrying water through this tea estate. It's a very beautiful location, especially when the sun is up and about. Today he has been oversleeping it. This is the road that we have to go. You can see it's in a very bad shape. To the right there is sort of like a signage carved into the rock. It says FN07 AC20. Not sure what it says. I wonder if it's like field number 7, number of acres is 20. We can see another signage in the distance, Binnoya Sea Estate. I wonder what that is. Though I have been coming here for so many years, yet to figure out what that Binnoy Sea Estate is. But we can see a semi-completed house on top of that hill. I can give you a better view towards the end of my journey when we are climbing uphill. This is the Binnoy division. You can see the tea estate. We have to climb all the way up to that tree line. That's where the road goes. We are standing roughly at 1240 meters. We need to climb up to 1280. That's 40-meter hike along this. Here we are continuing our hike. You can see now we have climbed uphill. It looks very beautiful, but the gloominess and the mist are still with us, making it impossible to see anything in the distance. I can faintly hear a train probably arrived at the Rosella station. I think this is a very good location. I can give you panoramic. Check this out, people. There is a bit of a drizzle too. We need to hurry up. You can see. Remember I told you about the Binnoy Sea Estate. The bungalow up there can be seen from here. It's not completely done. You can make it out from here. This is the road that we have to trek uphill. We are climbing back up to 1280 meter mark, where the upper junction is, and the trail branched off to left and right. You can now make out the Binnoy Sea division. Many tea fields. Once again, they are not in the best condition, but doing what it is possible for the Sri Lankan tea industry. This is yet another beautiful vantage point where we can have a grand view. In the distance to the top of the screen, you can probably make out the Binnoy Sea Estate bungalow up there. There has been a bit of clearing going on in that section, if I'm not mistaken. And in the distance, we can also make out a mountain with a communication tower. Unfortunately, the rain is going to increase. We will have to hurry. Okay, now you can see the path or the road that we have to go uphill to the left. But there is another estate road to the right. Looks green. That's also another possible trekking route that goes through the Binnoy Sea division. I intend to do that one of these days if possible, providing the weather permits. That will go and connect to the tea leaf collection hut that we saw on our way. Right, let's have another panoramic view from here then. Just look at this view, people. The wind and the rain are increasing by the minute, so we need to hurry up. But I wanted to show you this beautiful location. If it was a clear sunny day, the view would have been fantastic, out of this world. Unfortunately, today is rainy, gloomy and misty, providing very little. Nevertheless, this lush green view is very soothing to the eye and the mind. Not to forget the fresh mountain air. Right, now I can clearly hear a German lady laboring uphill from Rosella station. I really wish we were at that viewing point to look down towards the Rosella double bridge to capture her. Unfortunately, I have missed it yet another time. What to do? I'll have to wait for the perfect moment in the future if I ever get a chance. Now we are actually close to the upper junction where Binnoy circular trail ends. Once again at 1280 meters. My trekking partner has gone ahead. So this is where all this meet together to complete the Binnoya circular trail. You can see the pine forest patch. Down below is the lake I have showed you before. Okay people, here I am at the destination. Remember, we trekked around this small hill, completing Binnoya circular trail. That was a fantastic journey, except for the leeches, rain and the mist, which ruined our panoramic beautiful views. Unfortunately, we could not see the sacred mountain Sripada at all. What to do? There are days like this also. There is the German lady. She is probably at the Rosella station waiting for the passengers and the goods. Now we are going to continue our journey towards our bungalow, the cottage. It's approximately 700 meters from here. I'll show you if there's any more interesting views. This is probably my favorite view of this Binnoya lake. Looks so beautiful, and you can see the pine forest on either side have this small surface area of water in the middle, plenty of grass, tea estates down below. What a fantastic view. This is probably the ideal thumbnail for the Binnoya circular trail video. Let me take a picture also with my Pixel. Okay people, here we are going back to our cottage, having completed the Binnoya circular trail very successfully, despite the rain, mist and leeches. Well, that's what the upcountry is all about. Very hard to predict the weather, so you need to be prepared for all eventualities at the end. Anyway, trekking in the upcountry is always very pleasant, and I really enjoy doing that. Very soothing, as I keep telling you, to the eyes, to the mind and the body. This fresh mountain air helps you breathe easily. Despite the rain, you can see there are some tea pluckers going to work. It's amazing how dedicated these people are, because they are the ones who keep our tea industry in competition with the rest of the world. So thanks to them, their dedication. We are now almost at the end of our journey. I'm panting a little because I was rushing to beat the rain, because it looks as if it's gonna rain heavily very soon. This is the hillock that we did the Rosella circular trail some time ago. Unfortunately, that should be fully grown up with those mana and full of dreaded leeches. Okay, let's go to our cottage and end our journey then. These are the beautiful tea flowers. Looks so pretty. Okay, this is the last bit of trek. Now we are almost at the touching distance of our cottage. You can probably make it out to the left of the frame if you walk a bit more. So people, we are now ready to wind up our Binnoya circular trail. Total length of the circular trail was 2.2 kilometers. When you add 700 meters each way up and down to that upper junction from our cottage, now you can see to the left, that adds up to total 3.6 kilometers. It was a great hike. I really wish the views were spectacular, better, but as I keep saying, sometimes you just can't be very choosy. You got to deal with whatever the Mother Nature throws at you and live in harmony with her. So as usual, to give you the golden message, please visit this beautiful country, Sri Lanka, the pearl of the Indian Ocean. Enjoy it. She has so much more to offer despite being a tiny tropical island in the Indian Ocean. But make sure you do not litter, you don't do anything to harm the mother nature. Leave only footprints or pug marks like we saw in the morning. Behave like animals. The reason is that animals do not throw garbage, they do not leave plastic and all this polythene. They do not behave irresponsibly. Therefore, behave like animals. Treat the mother nature well, safeguard her so that she will in turn protect you. Remember that very good saying, if you live by the Dhamma, you will be protected by the Dhamma. So if you protect the mother nature, she will in turn protect you like she has done over the years. With that message, I'm going to go close to our cottage and do the usual wind up samadhi from there. This tiny pond is very close to our cottage. You can probably hear some froggies shouting at us. Here we are at our cottage. Very beautiful place, very close to my heart. So this is Sri and my trekking partner Anna signing off, saying goodbye to you from the Roselle Bingo Circular Trail. We'll see you with yet another trek like this in the future. Stay safe people and take care.